We'll start the class in a few minutes. Let's wait for a few more people to join in. Pinaki Das is asking a question. We'll start in a few minutes. Let's wait for 2, 3 more minutes, then I'll address your question, Pinaki. Okay, let's get started. So we have only 20 people who have joined in this time. So this is the third session that I will be taking. Uh, so that the number keeps decreasing every week. So in the first week we had 400, almost 400 people join in for the session. Then the previous week we had only 60, and today we have 20. Maybe because today is a weekend, people have not joined in. Uh, anyways, how many of you attended my previous session? So there are two TAs who are taking these problem solving sessions. Okay, Harini has. Okay, Ajit Rao. Great. Okay, so you guys already, some of you might already know how we are approaching. I'm approaching these sessions. I won't be discussing the assignment questions explicitly. I myself have a few questions. So I'll ask you guys to solve these, write the program for these questions, and then I'll go step by step and discuss these questions. And also, if you guys have any doubts, you can ask me. So one more thing that I wanted to say is during the session itself, a lot of people keep joining in and leaving the session. So every time somebody joins in, there's like a sound ting like that, and that keeps disturbing me. And also, multiple people will speak during the session. So to avoid this, the system that I'm following is you guys can type your question in the chat box, and I'll try and address it directly from there. So I have muted everybody. I hope that is fine. So this is how we have done the sessions previously. So somebody has a question. Pinaki does. So let's first. Uh, address that. I am facing this issue especially in arrays. When I am declaring array 10 but giving only 5 input, system is not able to give printout. I have tried some several compilers, same issue. So, Pinaki, actually, we are discussing only week 3. So, in week 3, we have no these topics: data types, ASCII code, precedence, and functions. So, I myself have not gone beyond this. If you see this, look, I have not seen the arrays and pointers. So, I don't know whether I'll be able to answer your question because I have not seen the videos. But maybe I'll try and if you can elaborate more, I'll try and answer that question. Could you tell me exactly what is the issue? Okay, we'll wait for Pinaki to uh, elaborate, or maybe I can just unmute for a few seconds and you can just tell me what the issue is. One second. One second. Trying to unmute. Okay, so Pinaki, maybe you can just unmute yourself
Hello,
and ask your question.
sir. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
One second. Yeah, sorry, I was not able to hear you. Tell me.
Sir, am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're audible.
The thing is, when we are facing doing some array problem,
Hmm.
now I am trying to fetch the values stored in the first. I am trying to put the values in the array in the running time, not in the at the beginning.
Okay.
The user has to give the input and array will store them.
Okay.
Now based on them some assignment questions are there that I will not discuss,
Okay.
but what I am trying to see when I am giving the input, whether the
Hmm.
system is able to give me just basic output, that print. Suppose in the array there are 10 numbers,
Hmm.
I am just giving suppose a b c d e, it is a character array.
Okay.
Now when I am giving a print function, at least that a b c d e and along with the 5 zeros, because I have given only 5, that should
Okay.
at least come, so at least I can go for the next level of the programming. Here I
Okay.
am not able to get anything, so I am doubtful whether it is a I am doing something wrong or not.
Okay. Okay. So maybe you can share your screen and show me what you have done, and I'll try and help you.
Okay, so in the mail I will in the discussion forum shall I say, share?
Okay. Fine. So
ठीक है सर.
I will
Okay,
answer you in the discussion forum then.
ठीक है सर. Okay,
Okay. Okay. Pinaki.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
अरे वही बैकलैंड
Okay. So I'm unmuting you guys. Okay. Somebody is asking me, sir, whether the question will be easy or difficult than expected. What question, Samuthira? What question are you talking about? If you're talking about the assignment question, I don't know about the assignment exam question. So I'm not involved with the exam questions as well as assignments and all this admin related work. So I'm not directly a TA of the professor. I'm independently taking these live sessions. So if you guys have attended my first session, you will know that why this is the case. So I'm a PMRF scholar, and as part of my PMRF deliverables, I need to take 1 hour live sessions, 1 to 2 hours live sessions per week, which is why NPTEL has given me this platform to take these live sessions. But I am not directly related to the professor. or the so I don't know what questions, what assignments, and all these things he's setting. So it is better that you ask directly in the uh, uh, group forum. Okay. So I'll only be discussing a few questions today to help you guys solve any issues. Uh, you know, to clear your concepts. So you can just type your question in the chat box if you have any. So first, before getting started, we had a question last week. Okay, the question was somebody had a problem with solving GCD, right? Uh, so let me just. Oh, I'll just walk you guys through this GCD problem since you were finding it hard. So I had told that class itself that I will discuss it, but because of time constraint, we were not able to discuss it. So let's say we have two numbers. Okay, what is the GCD between two numbers? Let's say I have a number int A, and I have a number int B. So what is the GCD of this? So can somebody just type in the chat box whether they understand what a GCD is? So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. Maybe you can type your explanation. What is a GCD for two numbers? In general, you can just tell what is a GCD. Okay. Yeah, some of you have responded. Greatest common divisor. Yeah, exactly. It's in the name itself. The max number. Okay, Pinakidas is saying the max number with which both the numbers are divisible. Yes. Yes, you guys are all right. Many of you have answered. Common divisor of A and B. So, uh, Bhuvanesh, yes, you're right. Common divisor, but we can have multiple common divisors, right? We want to find what is the greatest common divisor. For example, 16 and 24. We have these two numbers, 16 and 24. So this can be divided by 2 also, right? 2, even the number 2 can divide it. You can divide both the numbers. But GCD is what is the greatest common divisor between these two. So, a common approach like the professor already told, common approach is to find this is, take 16 and 24, find out the smaller number between the two, and then check from 16, is 16 divisible by 24? If it is not, then you decrease 16, make it 15. Now check, is 15 divisible by 16 and 24? If it is not divisible by both, then you again decrease it, make it 14. Then check whether 14 is divisible by 16 and 24, and then so on. Then finally you will find uh, the first number. You keep decrementing from 16 and keep checking, and then the first number that you find which is divisible by both is the greatest common divisor. But if it is a very large number, for example, let me just let's say we have a number 201, 2001, and we have a number 2323. Then it will be hard, right? If we use this kind of algorithm, it is going to be hard for us to find a GCD because it's going to take more time. It's computationally not, it's not computationally the correct way to do it because we are running more lines of code and this it's going to take more time. So what we want to do is the professor explained an algorithm to find the GCD in a much quicker way. So I'll discuss that algorithm. I'll discuss how to implement that algorithm. So why this algorithm works is I won't be discussing that, but I will discuss how to implement this algorithm. So for example, let me have this number like professor had mentioned. Explaining the same example. I have 24 and I have 16. Okay, so just hold on a minute. Some people have responded. I'm just drinking some water, so please hold on. I'm not able to find my bottle. Okay, anyways. So now what we need to do, the algorithm is as follows. First we find a number. Okay, we take 16 and we check whether it is divisible by 24. If it is not divisible by 24, then we take the remainder. Okay, so 24 divided by 16. What is its remainder? Its remainder is 8, right? So 16 goes only one time in 24. So the remainder is 8. So what we do is we take 8 and now we take the number 8 and now we try to apply the same algorithm but between 16 and 18. Now we check what is the greatest, we divide 16 by 18, okay, 16 by 8. So it goes two times and the remainder is 0. So now the GCD is 8. Actually, so since the remainder is 0, the GCD is 8. Okay. Uh, so then the algorithm stops. Now let us take another example. Let us take the number 13. Let us take the number 13 and the number 3. Okay. So I have 13 and I have the number 3. Now I will do the same. 13 by 3 is 4. 3 fours are 12, right? 4, it goes 4 times and 1 is the remainder. So now we put 1 here. Now of course, 3 divided by 1 is 3 and the remainder is 0. So the GCD is actually, in this case, the GCD is 1 only, right? So now we have to check how to implement this algorithm uh, using code. So I'll give you guys a few minutes. I'll give you guys around. This has already been done by professor. So please write this code and try and execute it. And if anybody successfully is able to write the code, then I'll ask you to share the screen and just show me the output. Okay. So let me just show you what it's supposed to look like. So I enter two numbers. So I enter two numbers, 24 and 16, and it gives me this output. So you have to run your like based on the algorithm that I just explained. Kindly take a few minutes, and I'll give you guys 10 minutes. At 4:30 we will meet. At 4:32 we will meet, and then we'll discuss. I will show you the solution, and I'll also ask some of you to share your screen and show me the program. Yes, Krisha Kumar, we need to write the complete program. So you can take 10 minutes and try and write the program, and then I will discuss the solution. I will show you my own and we'll discuss the solution. Okay, have you guys been able to make any progress, or you guys are still trying? Okay, somebody has made Ajit Rao. Let us look at what Ajit Rao is saying. Okay, Alok Verma has also asked one question. Sir, I am pursuing mechanical engineering from NIT Trichy first year. Which language is more useful for mechanical engineering, C or C++? I am not sure, Alok. It depends on what you are working on. So, uh, for example, I am a biomedical engineer, and currently the work that I'm doing, uh, for the work that I'm doing, I need to learn various programming languages like C sharp and C sharp, LabVIEW, and these kind of languages, MATLAB. But for example, the person who's sitting next to me in my lab, that person need not need to learn C sharp based on that person's project. So it completely depends on what line of work you end up doing in the future. But what I would suggest is you learn one programming language. So once you get the hang of any one programming language, you can easily switch, learn another programming language very quickly because it's only a difference of syntax. Mostly, many of the programming languages, at least the basics, are same, and only the syntax is different. So you can take up any one programming language and learn it properly. Once you understand the logic behind, writing a program, you can actually implement it in any language. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. So here also you can see the title of the course is Introduction to Programming in C. So here you're actually being taught how to program rather than just learning the C language. So that is the key takeaway. I hope that answers your question. Okay, Alok has not yet responded. So Ajit has, sir, can we learn or is it too late? Yeah, you can learn, Nandan. So, I mean, what is the this thing question? I didn't completely understand. Do you mean learn now, as in you have started learning late in the course, or uh, you have started learning late in the course, or you're, what is the exact this thing? Yeah, are you saying that too late joined? Yes, late joined. Yeah, I mean, if you put in the work, you can still do it, Nandan. So right now, uh, I think you can do it, Nandan. But you'll have to work. You'll have to catch up. Uh, you'll have to catch up because already the week 4, week 5 content has already been published. So if you put in the work, yes, definitely you can learn it. Okay, few students have shared their solutions. Pinaki Das as well as okay. Yeah, I think you guys mostly got it. So Ajit Rao is inputting two numbers. If I is here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and discuss the solution, and then I will let me just open up. So this is the code. It's a very simple code. Here, what is happening is first I'm taking in two inputs A and B. Okay, then I'm ensuring that the input A is greater than B. If it is not greater than b, I'm swapping it. Okay, you will understand why that is, why I'm doing that in the next. First, I'll discuss this. For now, we'll let us assume that a is greater than b. Okay, and then we'll discuss this code now. So let me just take a screenshot of this and then paste it so that I can dry run this program. Okay, so let us assume I have two inputs. Okay, I have inputted a as, let's say, 24, the same example, and b as 8. Okay, or let me see if, okay, let us go with this for now. Let me take these two as the values. Now let me go and see what happens in the first iteration. Okay, while b is not equal to 0. Okay, so what is the value of b? B is 18, right? So loop 0, okay, or rather iteration 0. Iteration 0. Okay, we have a, b, and we have uh, the value of a is 24 at the beginning, b is 18, and t is, let us say, it is 0. Okay, now what do we do? We assign t is equal to a, so t becomes 24. Okay, then a is equal to b, so a becomes 18, and now b is equal to t modulus b, which is b is equal to t is 24 modulus b, b is 18. Okay, so what is the answer of this? 18 goes only one time in 24, right? So the remainder is 6. So b is 6. Now we go to iteration 2, iteration 1. So now we check. We know what is, let us see what is A. A is 18, right? Then B is 6 from the previous loop. And T is equal to, uh, it doesn't matter what T is right now. Okay. So we check at the beginning, is B equal to 0? B is not equal to 0. Hence, we go inside the loop. Okay, now we assign t to a. T is 18. T is equal to a, so t becomes 18. A becomes b. A is equal to b, so a becomes 6. Now b is equal to t 18 modulus 6. So what is 18 modulus 6? 18 modulus 6 is 0, right? Because 6 goes 3 times in 18 and the remainder is 0, right? So b is 0. Now let's go to iteration 3. In iteration 3, it will check, is b equal to 0? Yes, b is equal to 0. So you can see b should not be equal to 0. Only then it will enter the loop, right? So uh, it will not go. It will get out of this loop and it will print a. So the value of a is 6, right? So a is, this is the output. A is printed out. So let me, for clarity, again let me. So at the beginning of iteration 3, a is equal to 6 from here, b is equal to 0 from here. Okay, and now we check this particular condition is not satisfied because b equal to 0. B should not be equal to 0, only then it will enter the while loop, but b is equal to 0, so it exits the while loop and it prints a. So the value of a is 6, so the output is 6. Okay, so the GCD is 6. So this is the basic logic here. Okay, now I have another question. Let's say I input instead of initially I input A is 18 and B is 24. Can somebody tell me what happens? In if I implement that logic here? Can somebody tell me what happens? So I'll give you guys 2 minutes. Please try and answer the question. If I don't swap the numbers and let's say A is 18, B is 24, what happens? Okay, Ajit is saying 0. Error. Pinaki Das is saying error. Okay. Yeah, so basically the code will not work, right? Because you just see, I go into this loop, okay? T is equal to A, so T is equal to 18. A is equal to B, so A is equal to 24. Now what I am going to do is B is equal to T, 18 modulus 24, okay? So it 18 goes 0 times, right, in 24. 18 doesn't go in 24 at all. So the remainder is 0, right? The remainder itself is 0 here. So what we do, we print A. So the output A is printed. And A is not the GCD, right? So let me just go. That is why we need the letter A to be greater than B. That is why I'm doing the swapping. So let me just, comment this out. Let me comment this out, save, and run the code. So you'll understand. 24 and then 18. Okay, so now it is saying GCD 6. Now let me enter 18 and 24. 18, 24. How come this is not supposed to work, but okay, I have not saved the program maybe. Hmm, how come this is working? Is it running the previous code? Okay, anyways, I'll get back to you regarding this later. But I hope you get the logic of how the GCD works, right? So we'll go on to the next question. Okay, somebody is telling it will get automatically swapped in the next in the first equation. Okay, okay, fine. Hmm. Okay. Anyways, let us move on to the next part. So inherently, I think the code is taking care of it in this part. That is what Ishan is telling. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the next part. So previously we had stopped here. Write a program in C to make such a pattern like the right angle triangle with the number increasing by 1. Use for loops in the program. So I will give you guys a few minutes. Let us. So it's 47 now. Kindly take 10 minutes. We'll discuss this at 6 4 50 4:55. Okay, Ishan is telling 18 modulus 24 will become 18. Okay, okay, yeah. I think that, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that is correct. Hmm. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. We'll meet at 4:55 to discuss this. Okay, so let me just run the code and show you the output. Let me open the code. So this is how the output is supposed to look like. Okay, so kindly try this particular problem, and we'll meet in 7-8 minutes. Okay, somebody is asking. So, sir, in the previous question, so in the previous question, Hari is asking, is swapping of variables required at all? Uh, no, Harini, I'll tell you why that is the case. I'll explain it. So you solve this particular question 3 first, and then we'll discuss this. Okay? Don't worry, I will explain it to you why it. Like somebody has pointed out, Ishan has pointed correctly that it in the first iteration it will swap. The variable itself will swap. So I'll explain to you how to do that. Yeah, Harini, exactly. It's automatically getting swapped in the first iteration. So we'll wait for a few more minutes and then we'll discuss this question. Let's give others some more time to attempt this question. Okay. Kalyan Kottu is writing given a solution. So, so I have a hint for you guys. You need to use two for loops, one within the other. Okay, some of you guys are trying and giving the solution. So, Kalyan, did you run the program? Santosh, yes, you're right. We have to run two loops. So, were you able to run that program, Kalyan, and get the output? Okay, Kalyan is saying here. Okay, yeah, Kalyan, you're close to the solution. There is one small part missing. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to also print new line, right? New line you have to print. Okay, okay. Can one of you share the screen? Share your screen and show the solution. Okay. Okay, so I'll run the code. I'll discuss this with you guys. Okay. Let us go through this question. So let me run this. Let me enter the number of rows as 13, and you can see this is happening, right? So on Control Shift S. Let me just so let us discuss this, how this works. So the logic is very simple. So I have I, J, row and K. These are my elements. Let's say I input the number of rows as 4. Okay, 4. Now rows equals 4. Now what do I do? For I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to rows. Okay, so I have my outer loop, right? Let me call this the I loop. I loop first iteration. Okay, so in the I loop first iteration, I is equal to 1. Okay, I is less than or equal to 4. That is correct. I plus plus. Okay, this will happen at the end. So now what is happening is within this loop, j is equal to 1, j is less than or equal to I, and then it prints this. Okay, so first what does it print? J is equal to 1. So it prints 1 and a space. So 1 and a space. Then in this itself, j plus plus happens. So j becomes 2. But what is so is 2 less than or equal to 1? So I is 1 right now, right? So 2 is less than or equal to 1. This is false. So it breaks out of the for loop. Now, now what happens? backslash n. So it goes to the next line. Backslash n means it goes to the next line. So the cursor is here now. So now I come here. So I plus plus happens. So now I is equal to 2. Okay. I is equal to 2. For j is equal to 1, j is less than or equal to I, j plus plus. So first I print 1 and space. Now k plus plus happens. Okay. Sorry. So I'm printing what am I printing? I'm printing k, right? So first 1 was printed. Now 2 is printed. Now I check j plus plus happens. So is j, which is 2, is 2 less than or equal to 2? So I is 2 now. Yeah, no, it is not less than or it is less than or equal to 2. So it goes and prints again k plus plus 3. Now k, what is the value of j? J is 3, right? So is 3 less than or equal to 2? It will compare here. Yes, 3 is less than, this is false, 3 is not less than or equal to 2. So it breaks out of the loop. So once it breaks out of the loop, backslash n is printed. Okay. So this is my first row. This is my second row. Now my I is equal to 3. Okay. And k is equal to, k is also equal to 3. Now I come in, I check here. So j is equal to 1, j is less than or equal to 3. Yes, it is less than or equal to 3. So it prints k plus plus. So it prints 4 and a space. Now it again checks. Is now j becomes 2. So j is 2 less than or equal to 3? No. Yes, 2 is less than or equal to 3. So it prints k plus plus, which is 5 and a space. Then again, so I hope you're getting the idea of how this works, right? So in that way, it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So this is the logic. If somebody didn't get it, please ask me. I'll explain it again. Sir, your assignments are problems, but your final exam paper is MCQ. How to manage it, sir? So, Kalyan, I'm not sure, like I already said in the beginning, that I'm not sure how to, regarding the pattern and all that. But if you understand, if you are able to solve the assignment questions, my understanding of this, it is that if you are able to solve the assignment questions, you will be able to solve the MCQ questions also. It will be a piece of cake. That is what I think. And also, I don't know what the pattern is again. So what will be the MCQ? Will it be objective questions? Will also be, I don't know whether it will only be programming based questions. So I'm not sure about that. Okay. So Harini is saying I think MCQs will be part of the code, sir. Yeah. So yeah, it can be something like that, like what Harini is saying. So yeah, you might need to. Okay, they have sent a mail. So okay, Kalyan, Harini is saying that a mail has been sent regarding this. Maybe you can refer to that email. And if you have further doubts, you can again post it on the forum. So I hope the somebody will answer your question. So I'm not really aware of what the pattern is. Okay, so Harini, if you have, or Harini or anybody else, if you have any, if you're not able to understand this, please let me know. I'll explain this particular uh, uh, solution once more. Understood. Okay, Harini is saying she understood. Okay, in that case, see, it's 5:06 now. We have uh, taken the class for about an hour. Let's take a break for 5 minutes, and we'll be. Why are you using scanf and not scanf? Is there any difference? Yeah, so Pinaki, yeah, so I had mentioned this in the previous session, but perhaps you were not there. So I'll mention it again. So what happens is this is specific to Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio only. For the compiler of the Visual Studio, they have this additional function scanf underscore s. So the difference between scanf and scanf underscore s is that in scanf underscore s you can also provide information regarding the number of the size of the input. So we can say, give a very large number as the input, but with the scan function, but with the scanf underscore s function, we can specify we can allocate a, a memory location, the size of the memory location where the input will be stored beforehand itself. So that is the advantage of scanf function, scanf underscore s, and this is only available in Visual Studio if I'm not wrong. So the compiler of Visual Studio uses this, but this feature might not be available in the other compilers. So I hope that answers the question, Pinaki. Yeah. Okay. So let me just open the Stack Overflow. Uh, yeah. So see, difference between scanf and so here they have beautifully this thing described it. It is a function that belongs specifically to the Microsoft compiler. Scanf originally just reads whatever console input you type and assigns it to a type of variable. If you have an array called first name underscore five this so and you scanf, there is no problem. But if you have some array and assign Alexander, so you can just go through this. I'll just share this thing link. Maybe you'll get a better idea. Yeah, so the compiler will basically set aside a location, Kalyan, for the input. It will be predefined. Okay, so let's go on. Let's take a break for 5 minutes, and it's 5:10 right now. Let's meet at 5:15. Okay, so let me just put it. Okay, let's take a break for 5 minutes and let's meet at 5:16. Okay, guys, let's get started. So this is one more question that was pending from last week. But for now, let's go on to the next question. Let's discuss this, and then if we have time, we'll go back to this question. Okay. So write a program in C to. Okay. Even before this, we had to discuss that, right? The previous question. So here, what happens is, see, like somebody rightly pointed out. Okay. Uh, where is that? So as somebody rightly pointed out, 18 modulus 24 is not 0. Okay, 18 modulus 24 is actually 18 because 18 goes 0 times in 24. It doesn't even go one time, it goes 0 times in 24. And since it goes 0 times in 24, the remainder itself is 18. Okay, so now B is 18. So initially A was 18, B was 24. But after this, see, T is equal to 18. A, okay, T is equal to 18. At the beginning of the loop, let us assume A was 18 and B was 24. Then I assign T is equal to A, which is 18. And A is equal to, I assign it to B, 24. Okay. Then B is equal to T modulus B, which becomes 18 modulus 24. Correct? Okay. B is equal to 18 modulus 24. So now B becomes 18. Correct? B becomes 18 and A becomes 24. So if you see, now A is equal to 24 and B is equal to 18. So the number has been swapped automatically. So essentially what happens here is it will take an extra iteration. Okay, in the first iteration, the code has been developed in such a way that it automatically swaps the numbers, and then in the first iteration, if A is less than B, and it executes the code as I explained here. So the problem, the problem that the only extra thing that is going to happen is it will take one more iteration. That's it. Other than that, the code works fine. So I hope this, yeah. So I hope this answers the question, guys. Okay. Let us go on to the next. Uh, Let us go on to the next part. Okay, write a program in C to do the following. A. Input a two-digit hexadecimal number and store the two digits in two separate character variables. So I want you to actually run this code because it will be very tough otherwise to understand what issues you might face. Okay, so let's run this code. Kindly, take 5 minutes. Just the A part. I want you guys to take 5 minutes for the A part. Okay, once you're done with that, just kindly let me know what whether it's working or not. So it's 5:19 till 5:25. I will wait. Okay. Input a two-digit hexadecimal number and store the two digits in two separate character variables. So this is the key: two separate character variables. So kindly try and run this code. It seems simple, but you might face some very you might face an issue. Kalyan Kottu is saying A1 is he. What does that mean, Kalyan? A1 is he. A1 is hexadecimal or not? Yes, it is hexadecimal. So yeah, for those of you who are not familiar with that hexadecimal, yes, that is of two digits, Kalyan, correct. A1 is a hexadecimal number of two digits. Okay. So let me just give you guys a brief overview of what the hexadecimal. So in decimal notation, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Till 9 we have, right? So we have 10 numbers, 0 to 9. This is decimal. These are decimal. In hexadecimal, we have 0, 1 till 9. Then we have A, B, C, D, E, and F. So we have totally 16 numbers here. So A actually represents 11, B represents 12, C represents 13, D represents 14, E represents 15, and F represents, A represents 10, B represents 11, C represents 12, okay, D represents 13, E represents 14, and F represents 15. Yes, yes. So first, yeah, that is what. First, you taken in. We'll go to that in the next step, Kalyan. You're right. It will actually be an ASCII value. So how can it be? Uh, your question is how? Let me just show for the benefit of others also what Kalyan is asking. Kalyan is saying if we enter A, then we get A as ASCII value. A will be an ASCII value. It won't be a hexadecimal number, right? That is correct. We will get to that in the next part. First you guys solve the first part, A part, and then we'll go to the next part. Okay. So yeah, Kalyan is right. So that is what will be the next part of the program. So once you guys are done, let me know. You might face an issue. It might not work completely, the code, while inputting two numbers. Yeah, yeah, that is what, Kalyan, we will discuss it in that is the next part. That is part B. That is what is the question. If you read that, you'll understand. So part B is to solve that. Okay. Okay, so let me go and run the. So while I was running the code, I faced an issue which took me some time to understand. It's a minor issue only, but enter a two-digit hexadecimal number. So I enter, let's say, A. So if you see what is happening here is that after entering A, I pressed enter. Okay, enter is also a hexadecimal number, right? Sorry, enter is also a character, right? So I should not press enter. I need to first enter both the numbers together and then press enter. Otherwise, the second character, sorry, the second number, the second character will won't be the hexadecimal number. It will be \n or enter. Okay, so that is the issue. Let me run that code again. So now I'll enter A and 1. Okay, so the most significant bit is 10. A is 10, least significant bit is 1. So I told you, right, A means 10 in hexadecimal. Then I convert hexadecimal to decimal, which is 161. So yeah, the next step is write a function to achieve the following. Convert each of the following characters, each of the characters that represent digits of the hexadecimal number into its equivalent integer value. For example, character 8 should be converted to integer 8 and character f should be converted to integer 15. Okay, so now you have to do the conversion. What does that represent? What does that is in ASCII, that is the ASCII value, right? What you have inputted. It's not the actual value, it is not the actual number. So in an integer value, create two integer variables, and in these two integer variables, store the actual integer equivalent. So for example, the integer equivalent of the hexadecimal number E is 14. So that you have to do that. Similarly, the integer equivalent of the 1 is 1. It should not be ASCII 1. So you guys can try and solve this. Yeah, so I'm trying to Kalyan, yeah. So I'm trying to input two characters. So after I input the first character, if I press enter, thinking that after uh, if I press enter, then basically it will be one more character, right? That is \n. So I can't do that. So I need to enter both the numbers together and then press enter. Okay, so I'll give you guys 10 minutes to solve this. This is slightly not straightforward. I hope you are able to understand what I'm saying. So for example, let me go here. For example, if I input a hexadecimal number A9, then I should have an integer value. I should have an integer variable. Let us call it int MSB. Okay, this is the most significant bit. This is the least significant bit, right? Let us call this int MSB is equal to. So this is an integer variable. So let me just call it MSB, and this is of type int. So this should store the value 10, and LSB, the integer value variable LSB, should store the value 9. Right now this is the ASCII code which is being stored. This is a character, right? So we don't want that. We want to convert it to this. So I hope you understand the problem. So I'll give you 10 minutes. At 5:30, 5:40 we will meet, and I will discuss this solution. It is slightly challenging. Okay, Harini lost connection. Let me explain again. See, I have two variables, right? I have asked the user to input two digits, okay, which represent a two-digit hexadecimal number. So let us say I input the number A and 9, okay, but these two numbers are stored in character variables, right? These are stored in character variables. So what I want is, I want you to convert A to its decimal equivalent, right? So sorry, so what does A represent? A represents the number 10, right, in hexadecimal. So I want you to convert A to 10. From ASCII code A, I want it to be converted to 10. Similarly, The ASCII code of 9, I want you to convert it to the number 9. Okay, correct. So that is what, Harini? The ASCII code A, I want you to convert it to the decimal code 10. And the ASCII code 9, I want you to convert it into decimal code 9. And I want you to store it in a variable, an integer variable. Okay, that is the question. So you guys can take 10 minutes and try and solve this, then I'll discuss the solution. No, no, Kalyan, let me clarify. So what does A represent? A represents the number 10, right? So now we want to uh, we want to store the representation of this A in a variable. Okay, so we have it is in ASCII. We don't want the ASCII. So ASCII also, each character also has an integer, right? Actually, every character, if you remember from the lecture, every character is actually an integer. Okay, and there is a mapping between the integer ASCII code and that integer value, right? So in this case, since A is an ASCII number, A is actually a character. It has a ASCII number, right? We don't want that ASCII number. We want the number 10. Instead of that ASCII number, we want the number 10. So that is what I'm asking you guys to do. Similarly, 9 also. Let me just show you that table. See, we will not get 10, Kalyan. That is what I'm saying. We'll get the ASCII value of A, right? See, the ASCII value of A is 41. We'll get 41 in that is hexadecimal value 41, right? That is what we will get. So 41, see, and 41 when converted to decimal is 65. So look at this. The ASCII codes are A to Z are actually ASCII codes have ASCII codes of 65 to 90. What I'm telling you is instead of once we get A, instead of having 65, we have to convert it to 10. That is what I'm asking. I hope you are able to understand. I don't want the value 65. I want the value 10. Okay, Ishan is asking. So Kalyan, if you didn't understand it, no problem. Maybe you can watch the video lecture once more, and uh, I will be sharing this recording. Percentage X is a hexadecimal number, right? So, I'm not sure about that, Harini. Maybe I will check and get back to you regarding that. Format specifier. I'm not sure about that. I'll check and maybe get back to you in the next class regarding this. Perhaps you're right, but I'm not sure about it. Okay, we have Ishan. Ishan, we'll discuss the solution now of both for A, B, and C. All three solutions we will discuss. Okay, Kalyan is asking something. Again, Kalyan, I am not sure about what about the other kinds of format specifiers. Maybe you can run the code and try it. Anyways, I will look at it and get back to you in the next class regarding the format specifiers. So there might be many kinds of format specifiers. I now I have only used the basic ones: decimal, character, and float. That's it. So the other kinds of format specifiers, I'll check and get back to you. Kalyan has asked percentage U. Okay. So let's wait another minute and then we'll discuss. Okay. Harini has responded. Good. I like this spirit where you guys are also answering each other's questions. So Harini is saying percentage U is unsigned integer format specifier. Good. Okay. So let me start discussing the, okay. And some more information Harini is sharing. She's saying percentage O is octadecimal. Okay. Great. Okay. Now I'll share my code. I'll share my code and I'll explain to you how this works. So what I'm doing here is first I'm creating one character variable, character MSB, character LSB. Okay. Then I am creating two variables, integer MSB, integer LSB. Okay. So now the input, I'm going to take two digit hexadecimal number, right? So the first, for example, A1. the more significant number. So actually B is misleading. More significant bit. That is not exactly the correct way to name the variable. But anyways, I hope you understand what I mean. The most significant digit will be stored in character MSB, and the least significant digit will be stored in character LSB. Okay. So if I input A and 1 as my hexadecimal number, that will be A will be stored in this character MSB, and 1 will be stored in character LSB. Okay. Now I want to convert, let's say I input A in character MSB. I want to convert A to 10. Okay, because in hexadecimal I already told you, right? A means 10, B means 11, C means 12, D means 13, E means 14, F means 15. Okay, so I want to convert that into its equivalent uh, number, the number that it represents. And also it is an ASCII value, right? What we are inputting are ASCII codes. So uh, we want to convert the ASCII code to uh, the number that the hexadecimal number represents, right? So here what I'm doing is I'm inputting the two character variables, okay, and storing it in character MSB. Then I've created a function called character to int equivalent, okay. So what this will do, I will pass in the character variable into this. So this is that it returns an integer value. It takes in as argument a character value, and then it converts it. Okay. So let me just Windows Shift S. Let me just explain this how this works. Okay. Let me just drink some water and then I'll start this explanation. Please give me 1 minute. I'll just drink water and come. So first let us take, so I'm back guys. First let us take an example. Okay. Let me just say that I've inputted 9A. So this is the hexadecimal number that I inputted. But in the code, 9 is actually a character, right? And A is also a character. Okay. And each of these characters have its ASCII code, right? So the ASCII code of 9 is, let me go here. See, ASCII codes start from 48 to 57. So the ASCII code of 9 should be 57, right? In 57. So this is an integer 57. This actually represents an integer of 57. Similarly, where is that? Similarly, what does A represent? See, A is actually ASCII code of 65, right? The ASCII code of A is int 65, integer 65, int 65. Okay. Now I want, what I've asked you guys to do is, I want you to convert this from 57 to 9. Okay, and I want you to convert this from 65 to 10. Okay, I hope you are able to understand what I'm saying. So 10 is actually the equivalent. A, what does A represent? A represents 10, right, in hexadecimal. A hexadecimal of 16 represents 10. Similarly, the hexadecimal number 9 represents 9 only. Okay, so I want you to convert this ASCII value to this. That is what my question is. Okay, how do we do it? Let me show you. So what you do is, first you check whether the character C is that has been passed into this function, it is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 9. What this is doing is, it is checking whether C, whether the integer value of C, so let us say I inputted 9, right? So 9 is 57. Whether 57 is, it will check whether it is greater than or equal to, what is it? 0, character 0, right? What is character 0? Let us go back. Character 0 represents 48, right? Whether it is greater than or equal to 48 and less than or equal to 57, right? So what that means is, I have a number, an ASCII number. I have inputted a number from between 0 to 9. Okay, so if I have inputted a number from between 0 to 9, I'll tell you what I do. Let me show you. Then C is equal to C minus 0 minus the character 0. So what is C here? C is 9, right? What is 9? 9 is 57. 9 is integer 57. Okay, so 57 minus, what is 0? 0, character 0 is ASCII. I have again closed that. Let me open that. Character 0 is ASCII 48, right? Character 0 is ASCII 48. So 57 minus 48. What is 57 minus 48? 9. Int 9. So I got my number. I converted from ASCII 9 to int 9. Okay. Similarly, for A. Okay, I have inputted the ASCII number A, and the ASCII code of A is, I have inputted a character A, and the ASCII code of A is 65. Okay, so now I check if the character that I inputted, is it between 65 and, whether it's between 65 and F. What is F? Let me go back. I have again closed that. I don't know why it is closing. See, A is 65, A to Z is 90, right? 65 to 90. So I want to check whether the number, that the character that has been entered by the user, is between ASCII A and F. Okay, that is what I'm trying to check. Okay, so right now I've entered A. So let C is equal to C minus A. Okay, so C is equal to C. What is here C? C is A, right? C is A, right? So what is the ASCII equivalent of A? ASCII equivalent of A is 65. Okay, minus, what is A here? A here is again 65. So it is 65 minus 65 equals 0. Then I'm adding 10 to it. Okay, so it becomes 10. Now let us assume that the character that I input is B, capital B. So C is equal to B minus A, right? What is B minus A? B is actually 66, ASCII 66, minus A 65. So it is equal to 1. Okay, now I add 10 to 1. What does that become? 11. So I have 11. What is 11? 11 is the hexadecimal number for B, right? Hexadecimal B means 11. That is what. So this is how the code works. I'm also taking care of the case if the small letter A is entered. Okay, so that is the code here. So I hope you guys are able to understand what is going on here. So this is the basic logic. So kindly, go back and watch the video lecture again and try and understand what is happening. Okay. So always remember the important thing that each character is actually an integer value, and that integer value represents that particular character. Okay. So, okay, Kalyan is saying he got it. Good. Okay, if you guys have any doubts, you can ask me, or we'll wind up the session. It's almost time also. It's been a long session. Okay. So, Harini, I hope you understood. Harini, eh, not sure if Harini is still there. Ajit, I hope you understood, and all the others also. Okay, Ajit is responded. Okay, guys. So I'll share the video recording. Thank you, Kumar. Okay, see you guys. See you guys next week. Next Friday, let's meet. Okay, Harini wants to know the entire code. Yeah? Okay, wait. Let me show you the entire code. So this is the code, Harini. So let me just scroll. You can take a screenshot of this, maybe, or you can see it in the video lecture. Pause it and see in the recording. I'm actually also converting this to decimal. Uh, so that is the third part which I've not yet discussed, but you can still. Okay. Kalyan is asking if we convert hexadecimal to integer, then we separate the ASCII values. Kirti Chandan, for can we use percentage %p for hexadecimal value format filter? Sir, how are you extracting the character? How are you? Is the main function with two user defined functions, right? User defined functions. It has main function with two user defined functions. Yes, yes, Harini, correct. You're right. It has two user defined functions. How are you extracting the character? So I'm actually storing it in two different characters, Ishan. If you see the code, just look at the code here. See, I'm having two characters. So I don't need to extract it. I'm just storing it directly when I input it. Get char. Using the get char, I'm taking two inputs. So, okay, you guys just watch the. See, now I've shared my screen, so this will be visible in the video. So please, you can go through this code, run it a few times, try to go through it, try to do the dry run like how I have done for the previous programs, and you'll understand. Okay, try it. If you don't get it, we'll discuss it next week. Okay. Okay. Ishan wants me to unmute. Sure, let me unmute. Yeah, Ishan, I've unmuted. You can speak.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Ishan.
Sir, when hexadecimal number we are taking input, generally the means it will to come input as a string. So
Hmm.
there, how we will get individual character? That I am asking. Here you are
Yeah.
taking different characters in different variable,
Correct. So yeah,
but in normal programs, it
yeah.
will come as a string means 3 or 4 digit. Then how we will extract each character?
So, so that is a different question altogether, right? So here, what I have done, I have clearly specified in between, in the beginning only, two two-digit hexadecimal number, and store the two digits in two separate character variables. Correct. So for this particular problem, I have simplified it. So what you are speaking of is a slightly more complicated case. So like you said, if we don't know the number of digits that the person is inputting, so how do we extract it? It will come in a string format, right? So we'll get to that part in the future classes. Till now we have not yet dealt with strings, right?
Acha,
Till
okay,
week
sir.
3.
Means
Yeah.
I am saying that in this question also,
Hmm.
I thought in the first part that we are taking input of a two-digit hexadecimal number,
Hmm.
then we have to separate it. But you are from first only you are taking it input as two separate variables. That I am saying. If we take two-digit hexadecimal number only, then how will it means differentiate that into two characters?
Yes, that is why I had specified initially itself. So I mean, sorry, could you repeat that? I'm not able to understand what you meant. What exactly are you saying? I'm inputting this. See, whatever I input will be in character format, right?
Means I am saying that hexadecimal number is A1. Suppose
Okay, okay,
yes, then
yeah.
we have to in this question, as per this question, we have to means extract this combination of two characters into single character. That one variable has A and another variable has one.
Hmm.
That from first only you are taking input. But if the programmer gives the input of A1 only, then how we will extract that in two different
Yeah.
variables?
So let me run the code and show you. So I am also giving the input that only. Let me just run it. So I think some others also might have this doubt. So it's good that you have asked. See, now let me enter B and F. Okay. So I've entered both B and F. And see, the code is working. Are you able to understand? See, B and F have entered. Then the equivalent of B is 11, hex equivalent, and F is 15. Okay. Then I'm also converting it into decimal. So if you write the code like this, so if you see the code here, so this is how the code works. So the first character that I enter in through the terminal, I will get it through this function get car. Okay, it will only read the first character because I am telling get car cannot read two characters at the same time. So I have coded it in such a way that whatever I input, only the first available character will be read. Okay, then so this will actually be stored in a buffer. Okay, whatever I'm inputting through the keyboard will be stored in a buffer, and I only read the first character that I inputted and I store it here. Then again I'm reading, so whatever is the next character that I enter after this will be stored in the next variable. So I hope that you are able to understand what I'm saying. So let me just run this again. So now if I enter A and I press enter, the code won't work. You know why? Because even enter is a character. Okay. So in my first variable, in my first character a will be stored, and in my second character variable \n will be stored, which is the ASCII for enter. So I don't know whether you understood this, but if you run the code, maybe you can try and run the code yourself and experiment with it.
Yes, sir, I understood. I was
Oh,
getting confused with the function of that get cat.
okay, okay. Yeah, so get car will only read one character variable at a time. Yeah,
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir,
yeah.
it means if we want to insert any input in the code, then we have to separately input, just like A and 1 is inserted. Then one time it's read A, and then next can read 1.
Yeah, it will read one, but you don't press enter because enter is also enter is also an ASCII value. That is also a
So,
character. So you
it
will
means
not.
we have, yes, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
tell
So
Kumar.
it means we have to enter at a simultaneous time A and I both.
Correct, exactly.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Harini is asking when will be my next class. Harini, my next class will be on Friday, next Friday. My next class will be next Friday. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed my session and see you guys next Friday. Bye, goodbye. Thank you for joining in.